a lot of people look for some ultimate end point in the realm of spiritual awakening, in the realm of healing, in the realm of just spiritual growth and this and that, or letting go of the past and these types of things. A lot of people look for this end point. And if we turn around and just take a moment and look, well, where does this question come from? Where does this question of, I would like to know if there's an end point, where does it come from? If anyone does just a little bit of psychological inquiry, we come to realize that there's an aspect of our human ego psychology that wants to know that one day, if I do all these practices, I will be safe in the future. Like one day I'll be safe in this place, whether we call it enlightenment or spiritual realization or ta-da, I'm free of trauma. I'm free and I don't need to do therapy anymore and this and that. And um, of course, of course, there's a place where we're free of trauma. But this is a crazy world we live in. And so we might free ourselves of our childhood trauma, but then all of a sudden our brother dies, our best friend dies, our dog dies. You see something traumatic. There's, this war between Russia and Ukraine or in Israel and the Palestinians. And it's just heartbreaking. And so then we're doing healing work again in relationship to the new things that have come forward in our life. And so I like to just have this attitude of openness, an attitude of love, an attitude of compassion, and a willingness. To me, instead of looking for an endpoint when it's all done, I look at endpoints in terms of willingness. When one has absolute willingness, and Aaron brought this up, a willingness just to embrace life fully as it is. That's freedom, whether we're having a wonderful day or a terrible day, whether all the trauma's gone or more trauma is coming. It's like I've gotten to many points on the path where it just seemed like total emptiness inside and there's nothing there. And then, the next day, someone's trying to hurt one of my children, or, someone's, attacking me online, or, my good friend, all of a sudden just dies, he goes to heaven, or, a bear comes to my house, or something. It's like, okay. And so we work with the new things as they arise. Now, the way I talk about this often in my teachings is we do a tremendous amount of healing work and we get over the hump. We get over the hump of our big wound and our big shadow, to where that big wound and that big shadow is what I call just a non-issue. It's not creating chaos in our life. It's not creating struggle. We're not contracting, when we have an old thought or memory of so and so. It's like these things can become healed, can become, in a sense, like wiped from our hard drive. And sometimes they're fully wiped, and sometimes we get it down to it's just like a 5% memory where it's not a big deal anymore. But for me, either way, we're going to go forward with an open heart and with love. Now, when I was young, I had like a solid 7 years where I was doing intense healing work. And by that, I mean, I was going to therapy weekly. I was meeting with healers. I was meeting with my teacher. I mean, hell, I had 20 years with my teacher too. So I had all this support. But there was this period, like after that 7 years, where I felt, at the beginning of that 7 years, I felt like I weighed 10,000 pounds. And at the end of that 10 years, I felt like I weighed like 4 pounds, that I could just blow away in the wind because there was nothing here, that was solid anymore, nothing here that was dense and heavy. And then I lived, for some period of time, it just like, what just felt like energetically being 3 or 4 pounds heavy, instead of 10,000 pounds of dense karma. But then, after about 5 years, life came along and, just rained on my parade in different ways. And, there were times when I could transcend it and it was no big deal. And there were other times when I started to take things on And again, I went back and did some more healing work. One of my mentors, in the world of healing, was a great spiritual psychologist, Mariana Kaplan, and she talks about this, just like doing a good course of therapy, like every decade. And I'm thinking even more like every 3 or 5 years, we're going and we're doing some deep work. But most of us, like if we are healers, if we're just in this field, we need to constantly be attending to this body. As we get older, we need to constantly attend to this body. As things happen in our life, we need to attend to the body, attend to the mind, attend to the heart. And so this is why it's so necessary to have, time on retreat, time in silence, meeting with someone, like myself, or going to body work, going to chiropractics. Like I'm always, just getting on someone's table, but I do it from a place of willingness, not from a place of, oh my God, I've got this big wound in the shadow and I've been carrying it around for 50 years and it's going to kill me if I don't heal it. No, there's just a sense of like I did the big work in the beginning. And now, just like with a car, we're going to do some maintenance. We're going to do oil changes. This weekend I changed the oil in my van and my motorcycle. And it's like, okay, it's just like we're going to do some maintenance for this thing because this is a heavy world we live in. Now, ultimately, our consciousness can be free and clear, in a moment of awakening. But then we have to support that with a lifestyle. And if we treat our body like a workhorse, if we treat our body, with disrespect, if we are neglectful to ourselves, if we overdo it, if we take care of everyone else and forget about ourselves, I mean, that's the crime that most spiritual teachers fall into, or most healers, is they give, and then their body starts shutting down. And, then they crash. And it's like, okay, we have to take care of this thing. We have to because this body is a relative instrument, but our consciousness could be absolutely free. But the freedom that we experience in our consciousness, it can't be fully expressed and fully lived if our body is in pain, or if we have ongoing fights with our neighbor, or if we're, getting in, political tiffs, with family members or whatever it is. Like we have to take care of this thing. So that's why I'm a big fan of just, thinking about healing work in the same kind of way we think about maintenance with a car. Like sometimes we need a full engine overhaul and it's like a big course of weekly therapy and body work and this and that. And other times it's like, oh, I just need a little oil change and a little check-in and, go get on, a table somewhere. And sometimes I just need to get up Saturday morning and do 90 minutes of yoga or